everything they've taught us about our history is like a fabricated lie. There's truth to it. There was people named Thomas Jefferson and George Washington and Abraham. All of those events are true. But there's also so much more that's not talked about. So much more to the Civil War. It wasn't just about slavery. It was about some people wanted the United States to be one, and then some people wanted every state to be different. Every state to have their own government. And so, while we're taught a tiny bit of the truth, much of the important stuff is left out. Because it's his story. It's the victor's story. That's what history is. And so that's why they take us at 5 years old. There's more to it, and I'm not saying schooling and everything's so bad. It's not. There's a lot of good that comes from it. Plus, it's just part of this experience. To think that there's more to reality. It's super awesome. It's super awesome. To realize that the past that they taught us isn't all true. That there's been civilizations more advanced than this one that have risen and fallen. Aliens, all sorts of technologies, all sorts of things that we would perceive as impossible. Or many modern people would think it was impossible. If you're watching this video, you probably know. Of course it's possible, and it's 99.9999 100% sure something else happened. There's no doubt. There's more to the story. You can see the ancient trees, those old mountains. They say it's a mountain, and it's like, obviously you can see the roots. You can see how it's flat. Someone giant or a bunch of people cut that thing down. Might have took a year. Maybe if they were huge, they could do it really quickly. But something I just learned recently is that the word Merlin may not have been one character. Merlin was like a label, like a general. You got to a certain level. You were a mystic, a magician, but not like the hocus pocus magician. You were a reality creator, divination. There's all different ways to connect with the divine, and there's many different realms that are simultaneously existing with this one. We are so programmed and so distracted, though, that they are non-existent from most people's state of being and their frame of mind. And anyone, all those stories, there's little hints of stories left with Santa Claus and the ancient myths and stuff like that, but it's all, even dragons, even though we see dinosaurs. What does dinosaur mean? Dino, soar, fly, dino, fly, dragon, There's a lot of things that they've hidden right in front of us, and it's not for some evil reason. I believe that, like 60-70% of America was Christian a couple years ago, 20-30 years ago. Now I'm sure it's less than half. But the beliefs of most people were completely against that. I know I had parents that were like, anything that went against Christianity was a lie and was hocus pocus, and you shouldn't even look at it. Like, what are you doing even talking about that? So they, it just wasn't the right time. That may be why there's all these like news things now going on where it's like UFO sightings, and it's like, this has been going on the whole time. And now they're just now covering it. So maybe with the movies, maybe it's like they're slowly releasing it to us, and so we can accept it. Because before, if alien just came down and or the truth was revealed, it might have been like a bad acid trip. If you ever had like a bad psychedelic trip, time can kind of stop, and it's just a feeling of dread, and you don't, especially if you don't know what to do. You can panic, and yeah, it can be stressful. It's like a shattering of your reality. That's what I mean by that, by a bad psychedelic trip. But don't do drugs. But if you're called to do them, then you should probably use the ones that aren't gonna kill you. But just my personal opinion. I'm not a doctor. Yeah, so it's super cool. We get to uncover all this, and I think it's just demand for it. Right now, there's a lot of people that want it, but I think there's a lot of people that aren't ready yet for it. And so doing the inner work, finding your purpose, there's more important things to be doing than, telling the government, we need disclosure. What the hell is going on with the world? with what is it? CERN? Yeah, CERN. CERN and all the other weird stuff going on, and the government and the satellites, Elon Musk. What is the truth? That I'm not entirely sure. I've given my version of it. I still think Elon Musk is probably a person. But I think, there's more to the story. I think the government was set in place to help us, even though right now it doesn't look like that anymore. Of course, government's authority always gets too much power eventually, and so the people aren't the problem. They're not the problem. It's just over time, the authority can get too much power, and of course that's going to be a bad thing. There needs to be a balance in life. That's what reality is: chaos and order. So constantly rebalancing itself is important. But government means to control the mind, govern mind. And so it's like they are watching over us until we're ready, till we awaken to who we really are, to our powers. And there's going to be different pressurizations. But ultimately, we, the mystics, are the leaders of the new world. And so the reason why you don't see anyone doing anything in politics is because that's not even their job. Their job is just to pretend like they do. Collect the paycheck and smile while the earth gets destroyed. But that's where you come in. That's why you manifest it here. You are the superhero in your own movie. And so it's not anything big like, oh, I gotta save the world. It's not anything like that. It's cool. There's millions of us, if not a billion. Who knows? And that's just us that are in physical form. And so we're not alone. There's nothing to worry about. There's a lot of illusions, a lot of smoke and mirrors, but that's all they are. The only thing that exists is you. And this is all being projected from inside your consciousness. And so everything has been just being under control, even though it's been bad. We obviously see the holes in the old world order, but this time was predicted. Eventually it's going to be fine. It's going to be the good thing, and then it turns into the bad thing. And that's just the ever-changingness of the universe. So going with the flow, connecting with your divine Father, however you want to look at it. Meditation, being out in nature. Sometimes I just look at a bird or pet a dog, and it'll bring me not in into a meditation, but it feels very divine. It feels very special, and those are the moments that really pull you back into the present moment, and you see, why being present is so important. So, anyways, hope you liked today's episode, sponsored by nobody, you, and God, and me. But maybe someday we'll get a sponsor. Maybe someday soon. If you like today's video, what we're talking about today, please smash the like button. Other than that, I'll see you next time. I don't have my thumb on today, so maybe I'll wear it next time. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I have a mechanical thumb. It's super dope. Should have worn it. Super rad, but maybe you'll have to watch another video. See ya.